Hey everyone, what up? Matt Kaiser here. Now, two things I really love is both the Tales series and the Warriors franchise, being two amazing long-running series that have their own fun variation of action gameplay, with the Tales of being a full-on action RPG with some elements you will see in some fighting games depending on the title you pick, as well as the Dynasty Warriors series with its famous 1 vs 1000 hack and slash type of combat. And given that the Warriors series has branched off, with also going from Dynasty to Samurai to Warriors Orochi, to also other various amounts of licensed titles with One Piece, Persona, Fire Emblem, Zelda, the Fate series, Gundam. One must ask, was there ever one for the Tales series, given the fact that, in a sense, it would be a match made in heaven to have a full roster of Tales characters play in the traditional warrior style of combat. And lo and to my surprise, there was actually one spin-off that actually did fill that role. Albeit it's a very obscure one, given the fact that like a lot of other Tales games, it was exclusive in Japan. But even so, I had a chance to play this interesting game. But before we begin, if you like what you're seeing here, then by all means, like the video, click the subscribe button if you're new, and hit the bell notification icon if you want more Warriors or Tales of content from yours truly. And with that, let's get back to the video. So the title in question that we have is Tales of the Heroes Twin Brave, which was a spin-off exclusive for the PlayStation Portable and released only in Japan in 23rd of February 2012. And this was being done by Alpha System, and they did have some involvement with the Tales of series. And this one here is basically an amalgamation of mixing both Dynasty Warriors combat with the Tales of series, and had interesting features like you see in the Warriors series, having both a free mode but also having various amount of story mode scenarios, all of which would represent each character's pairing. And yeah, the twin pairings here are pretty cool. I mean, you go all the way up from the very first Tales game with Fantasia, all the way up to, at the time, the latest Tales game, which was, in Japan, at least, Tales of Xillia, with both Jude and Milla, which is absolutely awesome. And who you start with is pretty cool, with either having Kless from Fantasia, who's paired up with Chester, to, again, the aforementioned Xillia, with Jude as your main character, pairing up with Milla. But regardless, this is honestly a pretty cool thing. Now, as in terms of the visuals, I mean, they're fine for what's essentially a PlayStation Portable game. I mean, the Tales games at the time didn't have truly impressive visuals, as it's more of the art direction style that excels in, but for what it is, it's fairly tolerable. Now, how's the gameplay? Well, the gameplay is interesting. I mean, if you played the Warriors game, you would have, normal combo strings, as well as being able to dodge and block. But what's cool is that they also pair it with using the Tales of combo style of arts here, like being able to switch between combos of doing one art that might even change to another various arts, as well as also having the option to summon your party to summon your other party member to do a follow-up attack, and once that's also full, you get to activate Twin Brave, where both of you and your partner can go crazy ham on enemies. And you also have, of course, Over Limit, which is basically on how the Warriors Muso gauge would also work. And enough of them really play differently well. I mean, you have Kless here, who actually plays pretty good here for the traditional sword fighter. Then you have Vague from Rebirth, who plays more of like a great sword heavy fighter with his combos being much more heavier. And then you have people like Jude, as well as also Chloe, who play differently, with Chloe being a very fast rapier type of character, as well as the likes of Jude being of course a martial artist, with his combos playing very sickly as well. And honestly, even characters like Storm play decently well. It's honestly an interesting experience, and while the level design is nothing to write home about, it's pretty cool taking down multiple enemies. That being said, the enemies itself, especially the peons as well as the enemy officers, they pose little to no challenge at all. In fact, I think this is a stage where Dynasty Warriors, well, Warriors games in general, that did become, brainless button mashers that became, too easy without the peons providing any semblance of challenge or a little bit of threat even. I mean, there's a few instances where they hit me, but it's nothing to fear of them. I mean, the big giant enemy officers are just an absolute pushover. It's really the bosses, where each of them will end off with a Tales of character to fight, which poses some decent challenge. I mean, some of them that I faced here, like say Chloe or Luke, did provide a bit of challenge here, though it's mainly because once you take them down to half health to close to killing them, they go into over limit, which basically makes them unflinchable, and while they still can take damage, they are more easy to be, immune to stagger for a short period of time. And of course, even if you are at over limit, you still take damage even if you are more unflinchable in a sense, so that is something to be cautious of. But overall, the gameplay itself was pretty cool for what it is. I do like pairing up with different combos, but for what it is, it's pretty neat. The soundtrack is pretty solid for what it is. I mean, it's Motaro Sakuraba and he does a decent job with the soundtrack, though the opening is absolutely a banger, being done by Funkist, who Fairy Tail fans might know have been doing the amazing, iconic first opening with Snow Fae, and the absolute baller third opening with FT respectively. And yeah, that opening itself looks absolutely amazing. It's honestly badass, as you would expect from a Tales of opening. Honestly, there's not much to say other than, from my experience, it's a decent game, and honestly, it actually kind of makes me sad that up until now, since the Tales has slowly gained a little bit of popularity thanks to the reception and sales of Arise, we haven't got a brand new Musou game with them, because I think it's cool, especially given the fact that post Xillia, we had a bunch more new games with new characters, with the likes of Tales of Zestiria, Tales of Berseria, even Tales of Xillia's own sequel with Tales of Xillia 2, as well as the aforementioned Tales of Arise, and I think it would also be cool, given the fact that Bandai Namco does publish some of the Warriors games that Omega Force does do, like the aforementioned Dynasty Warriors Gundam series, as well as the One Piece Pirate Warriors franchise. So I do think, given the fact that the Tales is slowly creeping to popularity once more, I do think it's possible that one day they should do, a Warriors type of game for the Tales of series again, because I think it has so much potential, especially if you go play Dynasty Warriors Origins, which has brought a brand new standard with Warriors gameplay in general. It's one of the more polished and refined combat systems in a Warriors game we had in a while. I do think having that for the Tales sub-series, as well as implementing all the cool combo strings and mechanics from prior Tales games like from Arise, from Berseria to Xillia to Graces F, I think mixing all of that would honestly be cool, and hopefully someday in the future we do get an actual Tales of Musou experience that is available on all platforms and is fully localized and released in the West as much as it is in Japan. That will have to be the end of this video. For those of you who want to play this game, best do it, best get a translation patch. I'll leave a link in the description down below if you want that patch, as well as going through other means to actually play the game if you don't have a PlayStation Portable. But until then, this was a very fun experience. Until then, Mad Kaiser out.